Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at our Titan chain snow tire chains with V bars right here on our 2022 Ram 3500. So if you're expecting extreme weather conditions wherever you're taking your truck and you need that extra grip, especially on ice, then these are the tire chains worth taking a look at. There's actually two versions of these tire chains. One has cams, the other does not. This is the version without cams. I personally recommend, if you can, go get the cams, but this is going to work the exact same way, where it gives you that extra grip on the snow and the ice with those V-bar links. So you can see how these have those aggressive links. They're also called cleats, and if you do have that ice, it bites into it. It does okay in snow. If you're expecting more snow, I do recommend getting just the twist links, which you can see below the V-bar studs. The links themselves are going to be made of a low carbon steel, and what that means is that's the material you want if you want it to be extra durable or sturdy. If you have that ice and those rocks, you want that durability. And compared to other tire chains, some of them are made of the manganese nickel alloy. Those focus on corrosion resistance. So while this is focused on sturdiness, if you are using this for multiple seasons, I do recommend just double checking your links and making sure they still look good before you put them on your tires. So these are going to fit around your dual tires, and you are going to get a set of 2. Now with this, I do recommend getting the rubber tensioners added on, just because, especially without cams, you want to make sure it maintains tension all throughout. I have these installed on tire size 235 80R17. If you're not sure what your tire size is, just double check real quick on your sidewall. It's important to know because you can use the etrailer.com website. We have a fit guide there. You put your year, make, model, and then you select your tire size, and that will lead you to the better fits for you and your tires. When your chains arrive, they are going to arrive in 2 of these canvas bags. And while they are technically reusable, you will have to use a rubber band or a zip tie up top to secure them. Some other tire chains arrive in hard shell, soft shell cases, which I prefer if I reuse the tire chains. But these are a great way to store them if you're going through areas that just require that you have tire chains in your truck as you drive around. So remember, there's different types of tire chains for different types of situations. If you're expecting a lot of ice, go ahead, get the V bars. Again, I do recommend getting the cams version. If you're expecting more deep snow or more mud than ice, then I do recommend getting the twist link versions instead without the V bar studs. Either way, they're gonna have the same type of install process. It is going to be kind of tough because you have dually tires, so you are going to have to crawl behind there in order to make those connections. Now, I install a lot of tire chains, and I have a lot of different tips and tricks to make it easier for me to do so. So let's take a look at that install process. What I recommend doing is the moment your chains arrive in the mail, please take them out of the box and set them out on your garage floor. That way you can be familiar with your chains, and you can double check to make sure everything looks good. And I do recommend practicing putting them on your tires before you're stranded by the side of the road. So some things to look out for is to make sure that you don't have tangles. You may have to twist the chain around a little bit, and you want to make sure that it's facing the correct side. How do you know that? Well, this one's easy. You do have those V bars, and you want to make sure they are facing away from your tire. And also, you can see how this has a flat portion and then a hooked portion. The hooked portion should also be facing away from the tire. So since those cleats are facing down on the ground, I'm going to lift the chains up and then over the tires. They are kind of heavy because they're designed for dualies. So just try to get them as evenly balanced on each side and get them over both tires. So there's 1 and 2 on each side of the tire, and then there's a middle one for the middle part of the tire. Now, the easiest way to do this is to roll forward and then connect it, but you do have to roll your truck back and forth. So if you have small hands like me, you can actually reach through the tires and connect it to the hook on the other side. I actually have a special trick for this, and what you can do is if you have the tire chains with the cams, you can use the cam tightener. I put that around the chain and then I pop that through the tire. That way I can pick it up on the other side and connect it. A lot easier than driving back and forth or reaching through. So you're gonna have to reach behind your tire for this next part, and then you're gonna connect the lever, wrap a link around. I'm using the second link from the end. Then I'm gonna rotate it to get some tension in there, and then secure it with the extra link. Then go back to the front. So now we're here in the front where you can see what I did a little bit better. It's gonna be the same as what you did in the back. You're gonna go get your lever and you're gonna get your link. Since you don't have cam tensioners, try to get the best fit you can. Here I'm using the third link from the end, and then I'm pulling on that lever to get as much tension as I can get before securing that lever with this extra link. So I have really good tension now, although it is kind of large for our tires. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use these rubber tensioners. Highly recommended, because even if you get the best tension the first time, what's gonna happen is as you drive around, you may hit rocks, you might hit ice, and then your chains will shift around. So if you have rubber tensioners like these will shift with your chains and maintain that tension all throughout. And you can see here with our tensioners installed in a crisscross pattern, that's it for the install. Do the exact same thing on the other side. If you are driving over your chains, then do that at the same time. Afterwards, I recommend driving forward or backward with your chains on, and then just double checking that everything's in the right spot. If it is, then that's it for the install. And that right there was a look at our Titan chains with the V-bar cleats right here on our 2022 Ram 3500.